Howard Pyle is not as famous today as some other illustrators like, say, Norman Rockwell or Maxfield Parrish, and that's because he belongs to an earlier generation. In his own lifetime, he was phenomenally famous. I mean, he was movie star status. People really knew his name, knew his illustrations. But today, you say Howard Pyle and most people draw a blank, most people outside of Wilmington. They know his images, however, so when they come into the museum, they see Howard Pyle paintings, and the paintings look familiar. They look like paintings that they've seen somewhere in the movies and illustrations. Many of them had history books with his illustrations in them. So I think it's time for Howard Pyle's name to be rediscovered again. Howard Pyle died suddenly in 1911. He was in Italy at the time, learning how to be, training himself to be a muralist. He had been a very successful illustrator all his life, but I think he was beginning to see that illustration was starting to peter out as a profession. So he was looking to make himself an even greater artist. In fact, many of his students went on to be muralists. So if he had not died, he may have become a very successful muralist and possibly, even invaded the realm of the fine arts. But it's very hard to tell. From the few murals of his that I've seen, I think his work was actually a lot stronger on a smaller scale than on a larger scale. So it could have gone in a different direction as well. It's very interesting to think whether the art museum would have come into existence if Howard Pyle had not died tragically and suddenly in 1911. I think, in fact, his legacy was so strong. So many of his students lived in this area. His teachings were so widespread that even if he had lived longer, he might have become involved himself in setting up a museum. But that definitely a museum would have been established. In many, many other communities around the same time, museums were being established. So I think it would have been a matter of time before the Delaware Art Museum was established.